Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Wonderful, Susan. Oh, we've got all our friends in. Noor's in, the famous Noor, the queen of the universe who succeeded in her confirmation of candidature last week, Josh. We are so proud of you, my darling. So proud of you. Beautiful Susan's in. Ian's in. Oh, good morning, Ian. Ian, how's the teaching going? We'll just get a 1 second on you. How you going, brother?
Very well. Quiet, but well. Thank you.
And that's still magnificent beard work, can I say? It's just great beard work. Damien is even more famous than we left him last week. Max is in from your wonderful posh office, Max. We wish you well in your second week of your master's degree. Very, very excited. So, colleagues, let's go for this. I am absolutely thrilled. Let me get myself organised. We're going to create some damage. So, Susan, let's go for this, Susan. You and I, we're going to write something that's going to change the world in the next 29 minutes. Let's do it. Colleagues, see you on the other side. Let's go for it. Come on, Ian. Come on. You're the best, mate. You're the best, Susan. Fantastic. Woo! Great stuff. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Emma. Last minute, colleagues. And colleagues, we are finished. Well done, and I apologise. We've got a wonderful man at this juncture working on my roof at the moment. So if you hear interesting sounds, thanks, mate. You're doing fantastically. It's not me and my alternative personalities. So, colleagues, let's begin. Let's begin with the wonderful Noor, because we're all just celebrating with her. So, my love, what were you writing on now? Post the COC. What's the goal, my love?
First thing first, I would like to deliver my greatest thanks for you because you came to my COC. Oh my God, it's like a great positive vibe for me in the initial my COC. Oh, thank you so much, Tara.
My pleasure. You're a wonderful scholar. I learned a lot, darling. I learned a lot.
Thank you so much. And then I was writing about my ethics document.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, so I'm focusing on how to select the participants because I will do and adopted some interviews such as narrative oral interviews, semi-structures and unstructured interviews. So I have to really detail to articulate it into my documents. I also need your advice also, if you don't mind. Of course, it's really valuable for me, always, as always. I also want to deliver some great news. So a day after I did my COC, so I received like a notification from Australia Awards that I have been selected by them to be yeah to the active participant in agricultural resilience climate change thematic events. So I will share my work together with the stakeholders in University of Queensland. So yes, so I'm so excited, Tara. So now I realize that my PhD is a beautiful journey. Yes, even though it's like it's a bloody work. But I believe that it's worth it, not only for me, for my institutions, for CDU, and also my supporting system. So yeah.
You are magnificent. It's worth it. So Kylie, it's like our karma is being sent into this meeting. So darling, I'm so proud of you. Great idea to throw yourself into the ethics. Think deeply about that while the COC is happening, and your timing is immaculate. And every success you are receiving, you deserve.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're amazing. So proud of you, my darling. That's fantastic. And
I always proud of you also, and all of my friends in the writing club.
Well, we are so excited with you, but we always knew you were going to be successful. So you may have been surprised. We ain't surprised. We ain't. You're the best one. And look, let's go to the person who is more famous than I believe the late Elvis Aaron Presley. So Damien, hello, good morning. What fabulous things were you writing on today, mate?
I mean, that's a tall order. I'll see if I can live up to it. I am working on my writer's room chapter and sort of going through my arguments and making sure all my topic sentences are constructing them. So my sort of focus is that a lot of literature has looked at television writers' rooms as a tension between craft and creativity. And my argument is that the period I look at around queer representation, it becomes a tension between craft and perspective because they're bringing perspective into the room specifically on a policy level. And so I'm just sort of making that argument flow because it's a bit all over the place at the moment.
I think that's crystalline. If you can get something as beautiful and as clear as you've just spoken there in the introduction, that'll shape what's going to come, Damien. That's brilliant. Gee, that's an intervention, mate. That's an
It's a
intervention.
very fun discussion. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, you're unbelievable, Damien. And I'll go straight to Shelley. Shelley, this is the conversation we had. Was it yesterday, or have I just lost? Like, have I been in a different temporal dimension? Shell, your wonderful commentary about comedians and being in the room.
Oh,
That
yeah.
perspective, how fantastic is that? So,
Mm.
Shell, the light of our lives. What were you writing on, you generous, kind human?
Well, my supervisors recently challenged me with presenting an idea that we were playing with this morning at the HDR workshop this year. So she just sent me some readings and I was just getting my thoughts. She also, I thought it was due on Monday. So I was actually in a little bit of a panic until I realized it opened on Monday, the abstract. So that's okay. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on, the idea of boundary objects. And it emerges from some research from some really amazing First Nations research that comes out of our First Nations, our policy research area here in the uni. So yeah, excited to play with those thoughts.
I am so thrilled. One step forward, one step forward, one step forward, Shell. You change our lives. You are the heart of this organisation, Shell. Should we go to the legendary Gay? Now, Gay, what are you working on at the moment, my love? I haven't had this update. Oh, sorry, can we go to Lorraine? So sorry, Lorraine, go Lorraine. Talk to us.
Sorry, I would have waited. I know that obviously a lot of people watch the reruns of these sessions. So just a practical thing, I'm so excited. So when I've started through laying out my theses, I've used the long document as you've always suggested, Tara, because I think it is so much better than doing like separate chapters and trying to add them all together. But what I did was I highlighted, you know, anywhere that I put in this chapter, like chapter 3 or chapter 4 or whatever, just in case I needed to go back and make amendments. And it happened. So a couple of days ago, I decided to insert a chapter 4, move chapter 4 down to chapter 5. So it's just made it so much of an easier process to go through, see all my highlights and just make those simple changes as you go along. So I'm just throwing it out there for just tips for people that are just starting. Highlight any numbers for that quick review.
I think that's so, Lorraine, that's brilliant, because we'll keep on the call for 1 second just so we find out what you were writing on. But I think that's one of the gifts of the big document, particularly, you know, you can't do it too early from my perspective. I know probably some supervisors hate me for saying this because it takes a lot longer as a supervisor, but it takes a lot longer on the way through because it's a lot shorter at the end.
Yeah. So what I did is I decided to insert biographical profiles of the research participants. I didn't want them as an appendix because I think that was doing them a disservice, and I want to be respectful for the time that they, you know, to allow me into their world. So I wanted them, and I think it makes more sense when you read then the key themes that came out from those interviews by having some of that background information on the characters, the values that they hold. I think it was really central. So I've inserted that now in chapter 4. Yeah.
I love that. And Lorraine, in the old days, when I used to be much more radical in my configuration of research, because now I'm just old, tired and emotional, but we used to describe that as a red wedge. So what you've done is you get a red wedge in the thesis. So there was no space there. You've shoved in a red wedge to create new knowledge and alter the shaping of the entire thesis. That's amazing, mate.
Thank you.
Oh, you're the best. And so that was a great intervention. Let's go to the legendary Gay. How you going, Gay?
I'm doing okay. I'm actually doing something different for me.
Great.
I have a paralysed dog. She's been paralysed for 5 years with a deadly fungal disease that the neurologist says has only a 30% survival rate for. The actual mortality rate for this particular disease, which is cryptococcosis, is more than 70% because the normal recommendation from any vet that diagnoses it is just euthanize, because the drug protocol is brutal and expensive, and doesn't always work. So my dog got this back in 2019, and she told me that she didn't want to die, so I did everything I could to keep her alive. And I went and did research. I'm a researcher. I went and did research. I discovered that humans with cryptococcosis are treated with hyperbaric oxygen treatment. So apart from, I mean, I am a qualified canine myofunctional therapist, amongst other things. And so I spent the 6 weeks that she was in hospital, I went every day to the hospital and massaged her for an hour so that she knew that she was still loved, and I gave her what she needed to keep her muscles from atrophying completely. This brutal drug regime, and then as soon as she was out of hospital, I got her to a physiotherapist who actually did hyperbaric oxygen treatment as well. I got her back on her feet and running after rabbits.
Oh my goodness me. Oh my God.
And so I'm actually writing that up, but
That's great.
the point of this article that I'm going to send to a veterinary journal is to, I mean, the neurologist didn't even know that hyperbaric oxygen could be used. So I want this to be published as a case study so that other people can see that, yes, HBOT and physiotherapy, along with the drug regime, can, I mean, she had a very severe case. So if the owner keeps going, the possibilities of survival can be greater if you're using this combination of treatment.
That is fantastic, Gay. And can I say, ironically, obviously, you know who I'm sort of married to, and obviously vet is very, very important in Massey. And there's all sorts of very interesting professional journals in vet science that are sort of allied health in vet. So, Gay, I'll do a bit of research for you, and we'll see if we can find a great spot for that piece to be. How long are you thinking it's going to be, Gay?
Well, I was thinking of a case study, which is about 1,000 words, which is not really enough to give the entire picture. If you could find me, if anybody could find me another journal that would take this kind of thing at a longer length, that would be perfect.
Phenomenal. Right, you've given me some homework. You are legendary, Gay. What a bloody inspirational Friday morning. You rock, Gay. And look, we'll go to our legendary Doug. So Doug has been working hard. His supervisor's been working him very hard. Now, Doug, what were you working on this morning for your supervisors?
My COC revision document thingy. Yesterday was a holiday because of the coolness, so it was actually nice and cold or cool in Adelaide, and there's some domestic disharmony happening. So I wasn't up to studying. So today is the last day to do it before I have to submit it to your hot little hands, your email address. So yeah, that's what I was doing today, is just adding to the COC document and getting that ready to send to you for a quiz.
I think that's fantastic. And following on from Lorraine, of course, this big COC document, Lorraine, in some ways, what Doug's doing right at the start is working on a big COC document. So as he feels like it, he adds paragraphs. So it's working, Doug. We are proud of you, you legendary human. Let's go to the Josh. Josh and I have had already a fascinating morning involving Bananarama. And so Josh, and of course, do we ever get over Bananarama? I'm not sure we do, Josh. Josh, what were you writing on in your post-Bananarama configuration?
That has tilted me for the rest of the day, that conversation.
Tilted.
Yeah. Now I'm working on, at the moment, I'm supervising with one of my colleagues in Australia, a student we know that was a former peer, and she's doing medicine, and as part of that, they do a kind of research component.
They do.
As part of their degree. And so the three of us have been wanting to look at sort of epistemic justice in neuroscience scholarly publishing. There's mainly the ecologists are pretty good with that sort of stuff. And we thought, no, we need some in the neurosciences. So we've got a data set that she's constructed, and I worked through checking through on authorship affiliations from countries and also time to reviews in the big top tier neuroscience journals. And so I spent a few hours yesterday and the half hour today just trying to clean up the data, do a few checks on it, and figure out a bit of an analysis pipeline for us. But I'm most excited to look at kind of separating authorship affiliation by country, by kind of English classification in the circle model of things, and seeing if there's any correlations with the time in days from submission to acceptance there, because that sort of data has only existed in survey form, asking people about their experiences. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But it's a fun data set. So yeah, just lots of Excel.
Oh, look, it's
messing around.
fascinating. And look, what an interesting correlative protocol to look at. I'm going to be fascinated to see what you find, Josh.
Yeah, it should be good. And, you know, more and more journals have that data now available of when things are submitted, when they're available. So it's fun to dig around in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Josh, you're absolutely phenomenal. One day I'm going to convince you to write that information literacy book. You know, you are doing some amazing work. So you're going to be nailed for that at some point, mate. You're legendary. Should we go to Max? Max, who is becoming increasingly the talisman of Write Club in week 2 in her master's degree that you've shown us the office. We're all excited by the office. Max, what were you writing on?
Hi, so I have some good news. I have my second Times Higher article. Yay!
My goodness.
This piece I am introducing, I gathered up all my writing resources that I read over the years, and I just like put them together so that many people could have an entry point to finding these resources, because information literacy. And I just wanted to say, I remember last week we talked about how we read dissertations in our disciplines to learn about how our discipline writes and actually creates knowledge more fundamentally. And I am actually studying corpus linguistics, which does genre analyses. So if anybody's interested about their discipline, they can use these tools online, and they can put in the dissertations that they got from their institutions, and they can analyze what phrases are often used, or which section introduces like which topics. So I think that would be very interesting. And what I was writing on was I was just organizing some articles on psychology models of reading and writing, because that's one of my interests right now.
Well, Max, I'm so excited for you. So I'm going to basically, at the conclusion of my meetings today, seek out your second Times Higher Education article. And as I will do while there is still breath in my body, I will retweet that out, Max, because you are spectacular. And the only thing I'll say to you, Max, remember you said you wanted me to write an outrider on bad writing. So
yes.
I finished that yesterday. It's 2 away, and it's dedicated to you, Max, because you are a spectacular human. Amazing,
Thank you.
Max. Amazing. And look, we'll go to the Red Queen. Kylie.
Oh, that's a big thing to follow up with, Max.
It
Mine
is.
was boring.
No pressure. Second Times Higher Education article.
No pressure whatsoever. I'm just reading more articles and just trying to oomph up a bit more in my theory section. So on one side, because I'm sort of that late Gen X, early Gen Y, millennial, is that what they call now? I have some in paper form. I have some on my iPad, and I'm sort of going with this one of getting stuff that I started reading. I'm like, oh, that's a good link. So I've looked up that one. So I've got stuff to go on to after today as well. So just more.
Multimodality. And the only provocation I'll give you, Carls, is whether it's theory capital T or small t.
Well, I was going to ask that question, but thank you for bringing that up. Can we clarify that? Because I think I understand what that means, but I'm not 100%, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So I did actually have also capital C and little c and something else I written on.
Was the C attached to the rest of the word, or?
I think so. I'll have to find that section again, but I just went, oh yeah, there we are. Oh, capital C and capital P for critical pedagogy.
Oh, that's all a bit weird. Well, that's configuring as a discipline. So, Carl's the critical pedagogy. That's when people are pretending that it's not just them and their mate, that actually they're building a discipline up. So they capitalize it in that way. Look,
Yep.
the capital T and the small t theory, multiple origins, epistemologies into it. Often it comes from small t, comes from the hard end experimental sciences, where a theory is being developed that is tested. So it's like a first maxim. You know this very, very
Yep.
well. So in the sciences, it tends to be used as small t. In my people, which is me and my invisible army, we use capital T theory because we're important and special. No, we use capital T theory because it is actually, it's not just something that is tested. It is a body of work. It is an intellectual paradigm and pathway that is not just something to be tested. It is a body of work to walk around with in our daily life. It's not to be tested, it's a lens.
So is there a point where a small t over time and becomes a paradigm that's taken on, become a capital T?
Look, it can, but as you know, in the sciences, a small t that's tested and everyone sort of agrees on becomes a law most often.
Yeah, okay.
So that tends to be a bit of that trajectory, but certainly, you know, it's mainly in disciplinary perspective, Carl. So our theory is, you know, as we use it sort of in conversational language, that comes from science.
Yeah.
But it's an idea, it's a vibe that we'll sort of test and see if it sticks. We'll throw it at a wall and see if it sticks, right?
So Darwinism would have originally been a little t, become a big T.
Yeah, look, probably in philosophy, as it's moved from evolutionary biology, which in many ways we sort of created, through to philosophy and the science of philosophy. That's a great point. Then it becomes a capital T. But then it's interesting, probably the scientists wouldn't use it as that. They would continue to test and trial.
As a little T. Oh, thank you.
Is that helping at all?
Yeah. I thought it was that, but I just thought I'd just double check. I'm sure some of us that are new.
Yeah. Oh, no, done. And always remember, when I refer to myself as a theorist, capital T, and I sort of do, I do that because I see myself as the orangutan in Planet of the Apes, right? I don't do any actual work. I just have the good gear and I just wander around and go, no, right? I'm a theorist. I'm the orangutan in Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, the Yoda.
Yeah. Well, I can. Oh, maybe.
That's why I knew you had him in there somewhere.
No, but I hope that helps, Carl. But again, I've done it in a very simple, reified fashion there. I'll find some stuff that mucks up the binary opposition a bit for you, Carl.
Thanks.
Rock and roll, girlfriend. Oh, who knew we'd go there? And Jess, no pressure. Following Max and Kyle's, Jess. Jess, what were you writing on, beautiful Queen of the Universe?
Okay, I was just finalising my manuscript from my master's thesis a couple of years ago. Sent that back, and it got me thinking, Tara, about my honours thesis manuscript that, you know, it gets bounced back a couple of times from publishers and you just go meh and you forget about it. But just recently, I've had a few conversations where the topic came up and people were interested in it and they just said, oh, this is great. Where can I read this? I said, oh, it never got published. And I'm thinking maybe I need to dust that off and pull it out of the filing cabinet. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. So pull it out. What I always say about honours theses, and this is, Susan, just so you know, this is in the British, Australian, New Zealand system. This is the 4th year of a 3-year degree. So there's a 3-year degree and then it's honours, right? So it's basically the equivalent of a capstone in much of the North American system. So Jess, darling, look, I would, but when we dust it off, recognise that you're a different human than the person who wrote that, right? So have it as a living, breathing Word document and give it one really hard, harsh read or draft for me. So current Jess, pretend that former Jess doesn't exist. You're not reading your own work. You're reading another person's work and you're improving it. Okay. So your current brain is brighter and bigger and more fabulous than earlier honours Jess. So take it, reshape it, reconfigure it, organise it for new Jess, and your supervisors are very happy to read that and offer any shaping as required.
Okay, yeah, and it'll need updated references because I know that the literature in that field has really taken off since then. So
Correct.
that was 2019.
That's right. So just always be conscious. It's a deal with the devil that you make. When in doubt, publish everything if you can, but also it's opportunity cost. So you're working on the PhD and you've just got to ask yourself always, is working on, opportunity cost, how many hours will it take to render that a publication, noting you're the star of your own life now?
Yeah. Okay.
Have it as an open file, babe. And if you're having a bad day, go to that and just do the remedial work on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You're the best, Jess. Hang in there. And legendary Michael's joined us again. Oh, Michael, it's great to see you every week, mate. Now, how are you going and what were you writing on, mate?
I was probably cheating this week, breaking the rules a little bit. Not writing on a thing, but what I've got is a bit of money to spend this year. If I don't spend it this financial year, it disappears. So we're just looking at what we spend it on without locking us into too much of a method before we, finalise questions. So there's a few options there, and just getting back to supervisors on that.
Oh, mate, that's fantastic. In some ways, the financial planning of a thesis, people forget that when you're doing a thesis, it involves all these other meta skills, of which doing the budget is dead crucial. So good on you, Michael. And you're travelling all right, mate? You're doing okay?
Yeah, doing okay. I technically haven't even started yet, so.
But you just keep arriving in our inductions and orientations and our gigs, and we are so happy to see you, brother. So keep it going.
Thank you.
You are amazing. Should we go to Susan? We all sort of hang on and wait for our Susan. Susan, hello. Hello. How are you?
Hi,
What are you
Sarah.
doing? Love to see
Hi,
you.
everybody. Yeah, I was writing, I had been away from writing for a while, or at least this type of writing for a while. I was working on my day job writing. So I came back to the article that I was working on that I had put aside. And now because I've been away from it for a couple of weeks, I can look at it with fresh eyes.
Great.
And made some decisions about what I want to do with it. So what I was doing today was editing the abstract that I had written before, with the intent of, what am I going to do? Well, yeah, I edited the abstract. That's what I did today.
No, that's good. And again, that 30 minutes, I think, is a great period to get that abstract tight. They're so hard to write, Susan. I won't never pretty this up for anybody. It's the hardest writing you do because if people don't like the abstract, they don't keep reading. So it's horrific, really.
That's true, yeah. But it's also hard for me to do two different types of writing. Academic writing is different from the other writing that I do. So I have a tendency to mix them up, which makes it interesting. It makes for interesting reading. But then sometimes people will look at it and they'll say, oh, this is great. And then they'll step back and then say, wait a minute, this isn't academic enough. So
Susan, I don't even know what that means. And I'm a career academic enough. That, that's like saying, I'm not sure the Diet Coke is Diet Cokey enough. If it's Diet Coke, it's Diet Coke, mate. If it's an academic piece, academia now is a very wide church. So you keep doing you because we love you. You are amazing. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, you're the best. And look, we'll finish. I'm sorry I didn't get round again, everybody. My apologies. We'll finish with Ian because we love Ian and we don't see Ian enough and he's working his guts out. So Ian, what were you writing on? And just give us good energy, Ian. Or sound, brother. Can I help you? See.
Sorry. I'm still working on the same article that I was working on last time. I think I reported in.
Right.
And I keep spending some time on it, and Write Club is a really important time that I get to concentrate on that. And I'm just still sort of stuck on the introduction, and then now I've written too much, and I just realized today during our session, which is one of the reasons why these sessions are so important. I just realized that I've got to stop doing that, and I have to just put it into a final form and submit it. So
Yes.
yeah, that's been because I just realized today while I was writing, I'm writing the same thing that I was writing last time. So
Ian, done is better than perfect. And you are a perfectionist and you're a magnificent writer. But if I can just help you with that releasing of the ideas, we love to read your work. We are waiting for your work. So releasing it allows us to read it and acknowledge how fantastic you are. So release it to an audience, Ian, so we can appreciate it and learn from you, okay?
thank you.
Oh, and all strength and power to you, darling one. Colleagues, I thank you so much for your time. Noor, we still love you forever. Love, 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 love. To all our friends moving through the Ramadan journey, we wish you love and support and a time of joyous celebration and cleansing. We are with you through that process. So colleagues, have a lovely, 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 lovely day. And I'll see many of you next week. Good energy. You are the best. See you soon, my darlings. Bye-bye. On your Max, I'll find the times higher. Oh, dear me, fantastic.